and so nothing looks right.
Good evening.
Setup. Happy Monday.
Happy Monday. And what a Monday it is.
Monday.
Am I all fuzzy? I look all fuzzy.
You are a little fuzzy.
A little fuzzy.
What the crap?
Kitty cat.
Hi, baby.
Boom.
Oh, you're gone.
There we go.
Why did I set up two-factor authentication on Twitch?
It's the smart thing to do.
I know.
Well, they
But
did have
I
I
that.
do that all the time. I'm constantly like, two-factor authentication.
I forgot that I never opened Twitch on this PC.
So, fun fact. After our session of Pineapple last week, I went through, I put up a poll on my Twitter and my Tumblr accounts. Now, the Tumblr one is still running because you have to set it at a full week increment, so it hasn't run out yet. It won't run out until tomorrow morning. But Twitter, you can set it to 6 days, and so I did. And so the Twitter one hasn't. The Twitter one ended. The Tumblr one has not quite, but it's almost ended. And so far, the results are: the question was, would a were shark have lungs in hybrid form? So when I checked it at the beginning of my shift tonight, there was 14 votes for yes and 1 vote for no across the two platforms. One vote said no.
And I can honestly say that was not me.
No.
But I convinced somebody, if they even saw that video.
So Matt, you admit that you're wrong.
I admit that I convinced somebody if they saw it, or if they had a similar wavelength than I did.
Oh wait,
Those
it might not be.
camps.
It might not be 1. Hold on a second.
Uh-oh.
So, let me see here.
Is there more?
Let me do a quick calculation because I just looked it up.
And those people are wrong.
Not necessarily.
2 votes.
I am not alone.
So it's 2 votes for no, and 17 votes for yes. Is the current standings. But I felt like it warranted mention. I posted the Discord link in the chat. You can join us for other conversations like that on Discord if you like. But as for game tonight, are we doing game tonight? How do people know about doing game tonight?
We can do either.
My favorite thing about what's happened with Pineapple now is that it's not scheduled anymore. It's just unexpected, which feels like the only way for Pineapple to really exist thematically.
Yeah,
that's
valid.
That's what Pineapple is.
Yep.
Exactly. It's a secret thing. Any random episode might become Pineapple. No one knows.
I mean, I got 20 experience last week for fixing my mandolin, so
that's true. Yeah.
And
it only took 2 hours because I was telling you how to do it.
How to do it wrong,
quote unquote.
Oh my goodness! Listen, I got into a whole fight about this like low XP type of thing on Twitter years ago on my old account. I think it was because I had said like I'd give out small amounts of XP for things that just kind of make the game better, and this dude was like so mad at me. They were like, "How are you gonna give out XP for that?" I was like, "Listen, buddy," because it was like, "Oh yeah, I give out 1 XP for." I think it was like 5 XP for Bardic Knowledge, and like you can get maybe 5 or 10 XP for bringing snacks and stuff. And it was like, that's you're stacking the game, and I was like, it's 10 XP. It takes 1,000 to get a level. Like this is never gonna affect it. You know how many times? Like think about how many times you have to bring snacks to gain a level just from that.
You're talking about
200 times, my dude.
The original pay to win.
Yeah,
that's right. Microtransactions with micro pretzels, mini pretzels.
Yeah.
Microtransaction, the DM.
But yeah, he was just like, "Why would you reward people for things that happen in real life?" And I was like, "Listen, buddy, if
Because it makes the game better.
yeah,
It's fun.
I feel like if the idea of like making this group activity enjoyable is alien to you, maybe this isn't the right game for you." And that was not the answer he was ready for at all. That was when the trolls came out to defend him, and it was a blast.
I'm sure you enjoyed every minute of it.
Oh yeah.
Tim likes stirring the pot.
He does.
That was like my second highest amount of controversy on Twitter ever.
You were in your glory.
Anyway, let's play a game maybe. I found a critter to have you guys fight last week, and I had kept this tab open the entire time so I wouldn't lose it again.
And it stayed open this time.
It has stayed open. It is still open right now. I'm on it right now.
There's a thing called bookmarks, my friend.
Okay. So
or
here's
you
the thing.
can look at history.
All right. Here's the thing. My history there's a lot of it. There's just so much history. But so Carol and I mess with Carol a lot about the fact that she has many, many tabs open, and I never do. Like, I currently have, across 2 browsers, 4 tabs open, and
Really?
all of them are game related. Yeah, I have the Roll20 that I play on as the GM. I have the Roll20 that is showing on stream. I have this call, and then I have the critter that I opened last week. That's it. That's all the tabs I have open.
19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. I have 25 tabs open.
Oh, is it a light day over there?
Read the
It is a
names
light
of
day.
any of them?
Well, they're all in different iterations of
Yeah, she has like
Edge.
5 windows open.
4. I have 4 windows open.
And none of them are maximized. They're just like little blocks on the screen. Drive me. I can't even look at it.
2 of them are currently maximized, but they're each window has a theme.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, if I'm researching something, I have all of the windows for the research, all of the tabs for that research in a separate window. Yeah. So I have research windows.
So you need to bring up Task Manager and see how much RAM that's actually using.
So much.
Here's my problem, though. I rag on her constantly about this. But what I actually do is, if there's something that I know I want to find later, I just bookmark it. And the result, and close the tab so that I don't have all the tabs open. But what that means is that I have a prohibitively large amount of bookmarks. Yeah, my web comics bookmarks folder, I have to scroll on. I have so many bookmarks just in that one folder that I have to scroll to see them. Yeah.
The only time I make bookmarks is when I'm putting them in the bar for fast access.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, I won't make them because I forget that they're there and I'll never go to them again.
My bookmarks has an etc. button. I have to click on to view the rest of the bookmarks bar.
That's ridiculous.
Well, it sounds like we're going to be doing a pineapple episode tonight.
Maybe I will just bookmark this friggin' critter.
So,
if it keeps going like this, yeah.
All right.
Right now, I have 4 Chrome tabs open. It says that I have 18 Chrome processes running, and it's using 2 gigs of memory right now.
Good God.
Let's see. Edge is using 3,000 megabytes.
So 3 gigs.
3.5, 3.6 gigs.
Let me see what mine's doing.
So many processes.
All right, so
How to kill your RAM in 3 easy steps.
And at least I have the advantage of having 40 gigs of RAM in this laptop.
Yeah.
I think I have 32. Wait, we have the same laptop, so
I upgraded mine.
So did I.
Okay.
with the RAM you took out of my dead one.
So then that means you have 24 because there's eight gigs.
Hang on, now I gotta check. Where's my system settings?
So real
There's
quick,
8 gigs in that's soldered onto the board, and you only have one RAM slot.
all right, what browser are you using, Matt? Because I'm hearing Edge, I'm hearing Chrome.
Hello, Titus.
You even know?
This is
I don't even
Edge.
know. Okay.
And
I'm using Firefox. Well, I have it. The Roll20 that's showing on stream is on Edge because I have to use a different browser to sign into 2 instances of Roll20.
Yeah.
So that's on Edge. But what I actually use is Firefox.
yeah, I technically have 3 windows open.
Technically?
Yes, technically. Because one of them is just the character sheet that got its own window
Okay.
originating from Roll20.
Yeah.
The other one is Roll20 and the video. That's it.
So here's the problem.
Carol's still questioning my math. Was I right?
It's actually 16.
Oh,
I'm pretty upset now.
which is what it came with.
No. I definitely put more RAM in.
It came the laptop came with 16 gigs.
I thought it came with 8.
8 soldered onto the board, and then an 8 gig RAM stick.
Well, maybe it's just not reading my other RAM stick because I definitely.
There's only one. There's only one RAM slot in this one.
Okay, well, I'm confused now, so that's annoying.
You upgraded. You added the second hard drive, which was another 1 terabyte drive.
So the problem here is that I try to run this game immediately after getting home from work, and I am not in the right headspace to avoid a pineapple episode in this.
Yep.
But I have put in my notice, by the way.
Oh, nice.
We can start earlier and maybe be more on task after I quit.
At the end of July.
Well, I quit at the end of July, but then we immediately go out of town.
Yeah, I know.
So it'll be August.
Well, hopefully by then I will have my new job.
What do you do? What?
I am going from Walmart to the VA.
Oh, goodness.
He's got to wait for his clearance.
Government money, huh?
Yes, government money. So I get a pay bump, and I no longer work weekends.
Nice.
So are you actually going to be a GS then?
Yes.
Okay.
I think a GS6, I think? That sounds about right.
I'm going to bookmark this.
But yeah.
Seriously?
What?
So I will tell you that, like, as a GS, it's going to be nearly impossible to get fired unless you do something really, 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 really dumb.
Well, if I remember correctly, the there's I think it's a year probationary period, I think.
Okay.
I think. I could be wrong, but I think.
What's GS?
Government salary.
Ah. I used to know some of this stuff back when I was trying to join the military or was joining the military or various instances in which I was adjacent to the military. But I forgot it because I don't care anymore.
That happens fairly often.
Yeah.
With a lot of people.
Yeah.
So that pay scale is a little bit different. You get paid less.
Yeah, but it's still more than I'm currently getting paid.
Yeah.
And it is at Walmart.
That's true.
And
It's just a horribly underfunded
I
program.
would only have to deal with VA doctors and TRICARE. so I wouldn't have to deal with 1,000,001 doctor's offices calling in something and not writing the actual instructions on the prescription. Like, holy cow, how hard is it to write down the instructions for this medication that you want this person to take?
Oh man, as folks know, I work at a Walgreens, and I overheard while I was like doing something next to the pharmacy today, them trying to figure out something with, and I don't know any details about this prescription, obviously, um, but I did overhear them when they were trying to figure something out that was wrong with it, and one goes, "Oh, I see what the problem is. We have uses directed checked and don't have any directions." So apparently that's not an uncommon problem.
No, it's not. It really should not. Like,
Are you sure this will change with VA doctors?
well, I also won't have to deal with that because supposedly the position that I'm going to is just filling in helping patients at the window, supposedly.
Okay.
So I don't have to deal with the problem solving portion, supposedly.
Okay. Ooh, that's loud. Let's turn you down.
Man. Ugh.
Did they give you a step number? Do you start at step 1?
I think so.
All right.
Why are you staring at me,
So
kitty?
if I were converted over to a Govy,
Right, because you're a contractor, right?
right, I'm a contractor.
Yeah.
I would the requirements for the GS scale that would be equivalent to what I'm making, I would have to have a PhD.
Jeez.
Wow.
That's
So, yeah.
Yeah. Wow. And so you're hoping to be in there by July, by the end of July, or by August? I mean, I
I'm
guess.
hoping to be in there within like 2 or 3 weeks,
Mm.
but they pushed back my start date.
So you're doing the security clearance thing? Is that what's happening?
Yeah, they're credentialing. That's what's holding me back currently.
So you had to fill out an SF-85, I'm guessing?
I maybe I don't think so, but I'm not 100% sure on that name.
So you had to list like your where you lived within the like last 7 years. You had to list your
I think I only
family.
had to go back 5 years.
Okay. Because an
Yeah,
SF-85 is your public trust, which
because
is typically what you need for that type of position.
if you're talking about what I think you're talking about, like I have like the lowest level of security clearance you could possibly get, I think.
Confidential.
No, that would be still like if you're going for a security clearance, that's an SF-86, which is a little bit more detailed.
Yeah,
Secret clearance or whatever.
yeah,
Yeah.
I definitely don't have any of that. I have no clearance.
Right. So
I
you just have to do a background investigation, which is most
Yeah.
Yeah.
likely the public trust, which is SF-85.
I think I'm the only person here. I guess now I am the only person who's never had to fill out that paperwork for the government. I did that. I did have to answer questions when they called for Carol because
Yep.
Carol got it. Had to
Yep.
get it at her one job. She was a contractor, and so they had to call me. They're like, oh, does she like hang out with any foreign nationals? Does she do this? Does she have anyone in her like friends who's like anti-government? and I had to say no with a straight face.
My
And
goodness, babe. He says on the internet.
Oh, but you don't need that clearance anymore.
I'm not. Yeah,
I
I'm
don't
not.
need it, but I don't think I don't have it anymore.
Uh,
I don't know.
it depends on what your employer decided to do with it. You will go. It will expire. 10 years,
Yeah, I don't know if
unless
they
you.
got rid of it when I left. They made me like swear to secrecy basically
Yep.
I'm
when I
not.
left.
I should clarify. Actually, this is going to be relevant to the sermon that I'm writing for this Sunday. I'm not
Uh-oh.
anti-government. Um, I just look an awful lot like it frequently.
Are you anti-government though?
No, no, no. I well, okay. I'm very anti-authoritarianism, and
That sounds like anti-government.
so no,
No,
that's anti-authority.
And
authoritarianism
in
is
one fell
completely
swoop,
different.
Tim caused everyone in the call to lose their security clearance.
The problem is that we have a government that likes to dabble in authoritarianism, and I like to say, hey, maybe don't do that. And yeah, that's the big thing. But I respect the need for government to exist. But yeah,
So, pineapple.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the sermon this week is about because it's Pentecost. This Sunday is Pentecost, so it's the it's the day we mark the founding of the church at Pentecost, and so I'm going to be talking about the relationship between the kingdom of God and the kingdom of man, the kingdoms of the world, and in direct contrast to Ballard, who was very hated the idea of anyone talking about the kingdom as though it exists right now. That was a fun thing at school, let me tell you, at NEBC.
So what nerdy topics are there for tonight?
I don't know. Well, Tears of the Kingdom just came out. Has anyone played that? I haven't.
Nope.
Nope.
No, you guys. Okay, cool. I don't
My
actually know what
fingers
else is going on.
are free.
I've been so busy with so many other things that I don't even know what else is going on right now in the world of
Yeah.
nerddom.
So, I will say that I gave up on Nintendo after shortly after the Switch was not the Switch, the Wii was released.
Oh, really?
goodness.
So yeah, I
But
That was
waited
a
in
while
line
ago.
at the Nintendo World store in New York City for my Wii. Barely played it, and I'm not a big handheld um, game player, so I don't know. Spent the money on pre-ordering the Asus Steam Deck competitor. I don't know why, but I pre-ordered that, so that's coming in next month. Um,
Well, there is the writer's strike, which is obviously affecting a lot of fandom
Nerddom.
things.
yeah,
Nerddom.
it's affecting
On
everything.
a on
Yeah.
a slightly darker note, did
Uh-oh.
you guys hear about Ray Stevenson?
Yes.
You mean the guy you posted about in our Discord channel?
Yes.
How
Yeah.
could we not have?
I
We
I,
definitely heard
I
about him
completely
in the
forgot that
Discord
I
server.
posted that in the Discord. But yeah,
I don't actually know who that is.
it,
Uh,
if you have seen any of the Thor uh, part of Marvel, he is Volstagg.
Okay.
he's the fat Viking guy.
There we
Yes.
go.
Yep.
Yes.
Um,
He is the fat
if
Viking
you,
of the Warriors 3.
I love that.
if you
Love the Warriors
watched
3.
the Punisher Warzone movie, he was the Punisher in that movie.
I
That was
did not actually. I saw the first Punisher in theaters, but I never.
yeah, the first one was awful, the Thomas Jane one.
What? Wait. Yeah. No, I liked it.
Oh,
Well, okay. My standards in movies are not as strict as some people's. I if I get what I came for, then I like the movie. Is basically the gist of it. And I got what I came for when I went to see Punisher.
but I felt that like Rave Stevenson was so much better as the Punisher character than Thomas Jane.
And then we hit a deer on the way home. No, I didn't see the second one though. That one took place in like New York, didn't it?
I think
Because
so.
I know the first one took place in
Um,
Miami, and that was one of the things that annoyed me about it. Like one of the few
yeah,
things that annoyed me about it. I was like, Punisher doesn't go to Miami.
John
What?
Travolta annoyed me for that movie, so that's
Yeah,
why
but he got
I
killed.
wasn't.
So
Yeah,
that's one of the great things about Punisher movies is that like any character that you don't like, you can probably trust is just gonna die anyway. Like
yeah.
unless they're Punisher himself.
I
He
mean,
he was Firefly in the second GI Joe movie,
I've seen any of the G.I. Joe movies.
the one with the Rock.
he was. I completely forgot about that.
He was in one other movie that I can't remember now. He was one of the guys in the King Arthur movie with
Keira Knightley in it.
yeah.
I did like that movie too.
I think he is in some of Ahsoka.
Oh yeah, I
Oh,
heard that he's gonna
Yeah.
be. I heard that he's gonna be a character in that.
Well, he was the voice of Gar Saxon in the Clone Wars and in what other movies?
Oh,
Star Wars
right.
Rebels.
Oh,
So,
that would make sense then.
yeah. So, I don't know if he was going to reprise his role in Ahsoka.
I don't know.
I don't remember what happened to Gar Saxon.
We didn't finish Clone Wars.
Nope.
We started watching it with the
We
kids.
barely started it.
That's true. We started watching it with the kids. And I think we're like on episode 4 or something. We're bad. We're bad at this.
Yes. Considerably.
So I'm not. I'm just not. I've kind of had to accept that I'm not a geek. I am a nerd. I like science. I like reading nonfiction, and occasionally I catch like a movie. But I like gaming, and I like nonfiction and comics, and I just don't really get as much into any of the stuff that ends up being a visual medium, like TV
That's
and
fine.
movies.
So, speaking of bad movies, I went to see Fast X this week.
Oh, hey!
Oh,
It was not as ridiculous as some of the other Fast and Furious movies,
That
but
almost
it's a
seems like it'd be
two-parter, so
disappointing at this time. At this point,
it's a two-parter. I mean, there was still ridiculousness,
two-parter.
but I'm fully expecting the second.
Whoa! Whoa! Hey!
are they finally ending it?
Supposedly.
What is that?
So I enjoyed it. It was enjoyable. They the like the ending, the cliffhanger ending of the first part was kind of abrupt, but it's like okay, it makes sense where they ended it. But I had fun.
So wait. Fast X is part 1 of a 2-part.
Yes,
So they're gonna have like Fast X 2,
probably.
Fast,
I don't.
like they did
probably
with Final
Fast
Fantasy.
X.
Remember when they did that with Final Fantasy?
hmm
Yeah.
Oh, I was so mad when they did that with Final Fantasy.
So, it was fun.
Fast X.5.
Yeah.
So I have seen both the Power of the Doctor and the D&D movie.
Hey,
job.
nice.
Yeah.
Both
Speaking
of
of
them
the
are so
D&D
good.
movie,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
you
Yeah.
guys need to tell me when you guys want to do an outdoor movie night, and we'll make it happen.
And it is not freezing.
Oh, for crying out loud! It's like 60 degrees out there. Wait.
Yeah, that's cold.
I don't actually know what the temperature is. I just know
That
that I drove home
that
with
is the
both my windows
perfect
down.
weather to have long pants but short sleeves.
No, that's the perfect weather for a sweater.
Uh,
All right. Wait. Apparently,
So the advantage of
apparently it's
doing it
49 degrees out right now.
Yeah,
the advantage
it's
of doing
cold.
it like
It's a bit
now
cold for
is the mosquitoes haven't come out yet.
That's true.
Yeah, but the
True.
mayflies are out.
No, they're gone now.
They were definitely at the bus stop this morning
Oh, all right.
or this
Fine.
afternoon.
Fine. There is a nice little gap though after the black flies die out, and then before the mosquitoes really come into force. Maybe,
Yep.
maybe we can nail that window.
Yep.
Let's see what else. Shazam opens or drops on HBO tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Speaking of
We liked
which,
that movie. Well, I like that movie. You like that movie, right?
I
Huh?
liked it. Yeah.
Yeah.
HBO Max is changing to Max tomorrow as well. So,
so it'll be one of the first things
Changing to
premiering on
Max?
its new
Wait.
rebrand.
they're rebranding because I believe they're formalizing their merger with Discovery.
Okay, but
I
how
feel
did
like
Oh.
they
it's Discovery.
how did they end up with the Max name when Cinemax is right there?
I mean, Max isn't like or trademarked.
No,
I don't
I
think.
know, but like you'd think that if you had said like, oh, which cable movie channel is going to be called Max when they go to streaming, literally no
I
one would
don't
have
know.
guessed HBO. They'd almost said, oh, probably Cinemax because that's. But no.
So, I might be expecting a text from you guys tomorrow because I believe it's going to require a new sign-in.
Okay.
You won't lose your watch list or anything like that, or your progress.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. I don't know. I don't know how soon that would come up.
All right. So I brought this up at work today. We were talking about Bond films.
Uh-huh.
So let's ask the question: Who is your favorite James Bond?
Oh goodness.
That-
I didn't watch.
that's a dangerous question.
Yeah.
I've only seen like 2 Bonds.
All right. Anyone that says Timothy Dalton though just gets booted like from the call. Though. Like, that's.
Who's Timothy Dalton?
I think that's what's his name.
Yeah, it was Timothy Dalton. Was
Yeah.
the one in the early '90s before Pierce Brosnan.
Yeah. The forgettable one.
But he had the Lotus. Come on,
Yeah.
the
No,
Lotus submarine
I
that exploded.
he is forgettable enough that all I remember is his name. That there was a Bond with this name that is not worth remembering anything more about it. Like
Wow.
than that.
But wasn't License to Kill the first rated R and the only rated R James Bond film?
Oh, who cares? I don't know. Maybe. that doesn't even like register to me what the rating of the movie is.
Maybe I would. Yeah.
I think I only know the names of like 3 of them
Nope.
anyway.
It was PG-13. My bad.
Well, there's a bunch of them that I watched as a teenager that they're kind of a blur. Which stuff comes from which. Um, Obviously that was before Pierce Brosnan. Well, no, Brosnan came in the late '90s, right?
Yes.
Maybe like '95 or something.
Something like that.
I want to say 94, 95.
So I would have been a teenager for at least his first movie. But we were watching the ones that already existed at that point. So
Yeah, Pierce Brosnan was 95. He started in 95.
It was definitely when I was young enough to still be very thirsty.
I
Because he's the only reason I watched any Bond movies.
Okay. I think I liked Pierce Brosnan as Bond as the character the most, but I really like what they did with like the mythos in the Daniel Craig era.
I am
Yep.
enjoying Daniel Craig.
Like,
Yeah, but the only 3 Bonds that I actually know the actor's name are Sean Connery, Pierce Brosnan, and Daniel Craig.
Okay.
Right.
Then you have Roger Moore,
mm-hmm.
and you
I
had
think I did like
his
Roger Moore.
face.
Is Roger Moore the one that had the brown hair?
They all have brown hair.
No, but his hair
he had
browner
Roger Moore
than the rest.
was like a more.
Than the rest.
I don't
Roger
know.
Moore had
like,
had a lighter brown hair. He was almost like a like a dirty blonde.
Like Daniel
Okay.
Craig,
Some
right?
of them. I'm sorry.
Daniel Craig is that isn't he?
Yeah. But
All right, we might have to actually list movies here to do this.
then there's George Lazenby, who was Bond once.
Oh, I don't even remember which one that was.
That was
it the first one?
on Her Majesty's Secret Service, I believe.
That's such a great song too.
He had never acted before, and Sean Connery said that he wasn't going to come back. They hired him, and then Sean Connery came back for Diamonds Are Forever.
Listen, Sean Connery has come back a few times. Okay, so Sean Connery Sean Connery did the first 4 movies, and then they had David Niven for Casino Royale in '67, and then Sean Connery again for You Only Live Twice in '67, and then George Lazenby on Her Majesty's Secret Service, and then Sean Connery back for Diamonds Are Forever, and then Roger Moore for 5 movies, and then Sean Connery.
Sean Connery came back for Never Say Never Again.
Never Say Never Again. And then they went back to Roger Moore for 2 movies. Oh, you know what? Some of I really like. Okay, I'm only remembering some plot points here, but if I remember correctly,
no, they only went back to Roger Moore once after.
No. Never Say Never Again, Sean Connery, '83. Then Octopussy, '83, Roger Moore, and then A View to a Kill in '85, which was also Roger Moore.
I thought that Octopussy came out before.
I don't. I mean,
Never Say Never Again.
This chronological order is saying that it didn't, but I'd have to look. Let me see.
Okay.
All right, so.
Ow.
Does it have a release date here?
June 10th, 1983.
Which one? Which one's that?
Octopussy.
Okay, what date did Never Say Never Again come out?
October 7th, 1983.
Oh. Well, why'd they list it this way then? This way.
I don't know.
Wrong. Okay, so fine. But
so then, he came back. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, I was just gonna say, Moonraker, Octopussy, and I think The Man with the Golden Gun. I really liked those ones. Is The Man with the Golden Gun the one with
Christopher
the guy who
Lee.
like coats everyone in gold?
That was Goldfinger.
Oh, Goldfinger. So maybe okay.
Where they try to steal,
Okay. So
steal Fort Knox, right? Yeah.
So not the guy with Man with the Golden Gun. Goldfinger is the one I was thinking of. Those three. I love those three. I greatly enjoyed those three. But two of those are Roger Moore, and one of them is Sean Connery. But yeah, I really like the Brosnan movies, and I like I said, I like the. I don't know if I've seen No Time to Die. I don't think I have.
It's on my Plex. So I own all of the Bond movies. They're all on my Plex. So I'm gonna say, I'm gonna cause controversy and say that Daniel Craig is by far my favorite Bond. Simply because I think Skyfall is by far the best Bond movie ever made. People are probably
Skyfall is pretty good.
probably
really
plugging their
Yeah.
ears and going la 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 la. I can't hear you.
Honestly, I think Daniel Craig might be at the top of the list.
Yeah.
I really like the Daniel Craig movies. I don't know that like rating the movies and rating the actor who plays Bond, I feel are two very different pursuits. Is what I'm saying.
Definitely.
So like I really like the way that Pierce Brosnan played Bond, but I really like the Daniel Craig movies.
Yeah. So the other reason why I really like Daniel Craig as the Bond is they show his progression as a spy throughout the series.
Yeah.
So like in Casino Royale, he gets the crap beaten out of him. He doesn't know how to fight, and he's just kind of like gung ho at the beginning of that movie when they're doing the parkour scenes and stuff. And you can see how he evolves as that character, how he becomes disillusioned with his position as a 00. And ultimately, I won't ruin No Time to Die, but ultimately his end as James Bond. And I told my coworkers today that I'm not always a fan of like the gritty reboots or remakes of stuff.
Right. Yeah.
But it was perfect for James Bond.
Yeah. I think the problem with gritty reboots is that they forget what makes too often they forget what makes the thing enjoyable.
Right.
And they try like the Star Trek movies, the new Star Trek movies with the Kelvinverse.
Yep.
They're not Star Trek. They don't feel like they don't have any of this. They don't really have what makes Star Trek good.
Yep.
Yeah.
They tried to add that when Simon Pegg was helping
Scotty.
with the script.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the third one, unfortunately,
and you can tell that they definitely give it a better effort, but
the movie itself was not that great, but they tried to get back to the roots of breaking up the crew and having the scenes between the different crew members and stuff. I appreciated that because that was very Star Trek. It's just that they tried too hard, I think, to make it an action series while
They made it an action movie that took place in the Star Trek universe.
right, while abandoning the principles of the of Star Trek. And that's kind of also why I believe like the Next Generation movies didn't do as well.
I loved the Next Generation movies.
I will go on record. I even liked Nemesis.
Mm-hmm.
I just like Insurrection and Nemesis. I just thought were awful. Like to me, like the Star Trek movies pretty much end at first contact, and it's just like I'm like I don't want to watch those. Like I will watch the first of the J.J. Abrams movie because visually I felt that they did a good job with reimagining the universe. And it was kind of like, okay, we're going to concentrate on, Bones, Spock, and Kirk. And then they kind of like, but they tried too much with like adding all of the fan service with Into Darkness. And then Star Trek Beyond was kind of a hot mess. So
Yeah.
And you haven't even touched on what they tried to do with Uhura and Spock, which was violently different than anything that the original series ever even
I
tried to touch
didn't
on.
mind that as much because if you go back and you kind of watch the first like few episodes in the first season of the original series, you can definitely tell that like Uhura's like flirting with Spock.
It's true.
Yeah, but I kind of meant it from the Vulcan side of it, though, because motion. Vulcans
Yeah, but a good
don't.
part of Spock's story arc is that he's learning to embrace his human side.
Keyword there, learning.
Right.
And in
You feel it was a
those
bit too
movies,
advanced.
it is the start of Spock's journey. Is very early on. He hasn't had a chance to learn his human emotions yet.
I don't think
Yeah, but he knows how to feel love. Like that's not a thing that he ever didn't feel, I don't think.
I even remember what you guys are talking about right now.
But if you take it, because like
Uhura and Spock were a thing.
Yeah.
And
yes,
Was it like super
in
overt?
the
Because if it's not super overt, I might have just not noticed it.
when
it
Uhura's
was
like, I'll be
like
monitoring
part
your
of a
signal.
plot. One of the major plot points
Yeah.
involves their relationship.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
maybe I just
yeah.
forgot.
Yeah. But like maybe it changed between the time frame of Enterprise and the original series, but at one point all Vulcan marriages were arranged.
Which they
But they played with that in the original
they
series
played
a
with
little
it
bit.
in Strange New Worlds.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, they do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, you haven't watched that yet? I'm sorry.
I have not seen Strange New Worlds.
But I mean, they also did like the whole. Because I mean, in what was it, a mock time or whatever, where in the original series, where Spock they were gonna have like an arranged marriage, but Spock's fiance was trying to arrange things to force a different arranged marriage for herself, and so like they played with that a little bit already. That like you can kind of manipulate the arranged marriage thing
Mm-hmm.
to an extent.
Yeah, I just remember that in Enterprise, T'Pol had to choose between the ship and her arranged marriage.
Yeah.
Very early on in the series, actually.
I think I do remember that. But yeah, no, I mean, yeah. So they have like, I think what it is that officially they have arranged marriages, but like in practice, you can play with it. the arranged marriage is kind of like a structure that you toy around within.
Yeah, because even with that, it begs the question: which is more important to Vulcans, tradition or logic?
Yeah, I feel like it's probably logic.
You would think, but from everything on screen, it seems like honor they may choose tradition over logic sometimes.
Well, I mean, sometimes, sure.
I mean,
Yeah,
it's not a hard and fast rule that hey, they will choose tradition over logic every time.
yeah,
But with any kind of species, they're it's like a line that they'll jump across like a jump rope.
yeah. But going back, I watched all of the Bond movies growing up. Um, at an age where Carol feels I was way too young to have watched them. Um, and so there's a lot of them that I just don't remember very well, honestly.
So
I haven't gone back to watch them again.
yeah, growing up, like they would always show a Bond movie on like New Year's Eve. And we used to go to a family friend's house for a New Year's Eve party, and they would always have one of the, they'd have a TV on downstairs, and we'd catch pieces of the Bond films. Um, but like the first Bond film that I like ever saw like all the way through, I would have to say was, the Pierce Brosnan Golden Eye. But I just remember like what's the one? You Only Live Twice, maybe? The one with the voodoo with Jane Seymour and the voodoo guys in New Orleans.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think it was that one that I remember. No, You Only Live Twice was maybe it was Live and Let Die then. Yeah, Live and Let Die. I remember. I think that was the first Bond movie I had actually seen parts of. But
So, what was your first Bond movie, Tim?
I don't know. I was probably like 5.
Yeah, far too young to be watching.
Yeah, I'm about to show my age as the youngest member of this group because the first James Bond movie that I saw was either Quantum of Solace or Casino Royale.
Oh wow.
wow. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
So I will say that You Only Live Twice is probably my least favorite Bond. It's the most racist Bond film, I believe, with the yellow face.
Oh god. Yeah.
Oh.
um,
Yeah.
yeah,
So we grew up watching all the Bond movies, all of the, and then as they became available, the Indiana Jones movies, and and a handful of westerns. Like those were, my dad was very big on us seeing those movies. Um, or
Least favorite
Manly Man
Indiana Jones
Adventures.
movies.
Okay, so I'm excited for the new one because it's an odd numbered Indiana Jones movies, and those are great.
As long as it's nothing like the Crystal Skull.
It won't be. It's an odd numbered movie.
I think they
Kingdom of the
learned
Crystal
their
Skull was
lessons
4.
with Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, because I'm very um afraid for this movie as well.
I'm not. I'm trusting in the fact that
Well,
it's number 5.
I have
Like, but
seen.
Hinging a lot of hope on that number.
I saw something saying that they may have done Harrison Ford dirty with the new Indiana Jones movie. I didn't read into it, but I have no idea what
Okay.
they mean.
so I mean, James Mangold is directing it, so
I don't know who that is.
Neither do I.
he directed Logan.
Oh.
And
So
now
he
he's even more excited.
he directed Ford versus Ferrari, Walk the Line. We'll
So it
forget
sounds
that
like there's some
we'll forget
potential to be a really good movie.
well we'll forget that he produced the Call of the Wild,
Call of the Wild? Which one's that?
the terrible the Harrison Ford movie adaptation of the book, which just bombed at the
Oh.
at the box office,
I don't remember
Oh,
even hearing
that
about this.
movie.
with the
I forgot
terrible
that
CG
existed.
dog.
Nope.
I forgot that existed.
I don't think I even knew that it was a thing.
Like, I knew it was, but I forgot it existed.
No,
It
I
came
don't
out in
think I did.
2020.
I never saw it.
You can watch it on Disney Plus. I think.
If you want to.
Something tells me I don't.
So
Ow.
what he did 310 to Yuma too. I like that movie.
Yeah.
Uh,
All right. This is promising. This is sounding very promising.
but I am kind of like, why did they choose the Dial of Destiny as? I just don't like that name.
Yeah, see, that just doesn't sound like it's right. Like, it sounds very Crystal Skull.
Yeah.
Like, it gives me very Dial H for Hero vibes.
So I am looking forward to going to see it.
Yes.
I'm gonna be the dork and say that I'm looking forward to the new Transformers movie.
Oh, the Beast Wars one?
Yes.
Yeah, I probably need to catch up on my Transformers movies before
I
I
am
try to
so
see
far
that.
behind.
I
think I only saw like the first 2. Did I see the third one? I don't even remember if I saw the third one.
Well, like the
you're not missing much with those. But if it's if they do it like they did Bumblebee, I'm gonna be pretty happy.
I will say I don't think I've seen any that didn't have Shia LaBeouf and Megan Fox.
I've seen.
I think every single one I've seen had both of them in it.
Okay, that's the first 3.
Okay, so I've seen 2 or 3.
Then there were 2 with Mark Wahlberg, and then they did the Bumblebee movie.
Wait a minute. I don't think Megan Fox was in the third one though.
No, Megan Fox was not in the third one.
So I saw the first 2 then.
Yeah.
Because I didn't see any that had just one of the 2 of them. Just everyone I saw had both of them.
Yeah, I've seen all the way up through the first Matt Damon one. Or not Matt Damon. Mark Wahlberg.
Mark Wahlberg.
Like, I've purposely kind of not really looked into much of the Rise of the Beasts movie, just because I don't want to possibly hype myself up.
We saw a trailer for it before the D&D movie.
Yeah.
I think that's everything I know about it. Was that trailer?
But
Yep.
the director did direct Creed 2.
Never saw that.
Yeah,
I haven't seen that
I
either.
haven't seen Creed 2 yet.
I
I
saw
think I've
Creed
seen
The
1.
Rocky
Creed
movies.
1.
That was the other thing.
Yep.
We watched all the Rocky movies
I love the Rocky movies.
in my house growing up.
Like the like from what I know of Creed 2, it kind of seems like they're just like going through the original Rockies and saying, "Ooh, I like that. Let's use that as a premise for our next movie." It seems like they're rushing it too. I don't know why.
I mean, it's
I
been a
was
while since they came out with the first one.
Well, I meant like the plot line between the movies because the second Creed movie, as far as I can tell, is basically the third Rocky movie's child. Just like, hey,
I
these are these people's kids. Let's make them fight.
Yep.
yeah. Well, okay. So the first movie, so Creed 1, the other boxer was Mason the Line Dixon, and I was like, no one's gonna do that. Like, no one. Like, that's not a name a real person would have. I just and that like it was so. It seemed
Yeah.
so off that I think that was part of why I've never watched any of the subsequent ones. Wait, was that or was that Rocky 5? I think that was Creed, right? Wasn't it?
I don't remember the names.
I don't remember.
And then next week, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse.
That's next week.
That's June 2nd.
Oh, and you'll be in bed for a while. So.
I will be in bed for a while. I'm getting my tonsils out on June 2nd. Side note, not gonna have game on June 5th. Probably.
Yeah.
Go ahead and mark that in your calendars. Not gonna be up to talking. I might not be upright. We'll see. But
And hopefully that'll be one of my first days at my new job
there you go.
if everything works out right.
So those are the movies that I'm looking forward to this summer.
I know we're all pumped to see the Spider-Verse movie.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna take the kids to go see that.
Oh yeah,
Nice.
definitely.
That's just gonna have to happen.
Oh, and then there's the new Mission Impossible movie at the middle of July too.
There's a new Mission Impossible movie.
I
Yeah.
was just about to say that because
Another
This
one.
is going to be another two-parter because this is most likely the final Mission Impossible movie. So this is
I thought
Dead
they already.
Reckoning Part 1.
Supposedly.
I thought they did the final Mission Impossible movie already.
That's what we thought too.
Is it still Tom Cruise?
Yes.
Of course.
is it still Tom Cruise?
Well, I
It's a
don't
Mission
know.
Impossible movie.
They, they do stuff sometimes. Well, what's the? And then Paramount's trying to do that dark multiverse or whatever, dark universe.
They gave up on that, I thought.
Well, apparently not because they created an official Twitter for it like this week.
Oh, then they're trying to resurrect it, I guess, huh?
I guess
Because
if
they
you're gonna resurrect
tried it
anything, it
with
might
the
as well be
Mummy. But what? Because the Dark Multiverse flopped when they tried it with the Mummy. What are
Yep.
they trying to use to kickstart it now?
Well, okay, I don't know, but the picture that they posted, so the tweet that they put up today, the second tweet on the account. Oh no, okay, they created it in 2017, but they haven't. Oh, it is 2017. Never mind, it's an old thing.
Oh.
Oh, okay.
It's just somehow it only came across my dash today, and the date on it is May 22nd, so I didn't look at the year.
Oh. Okay.
Never mind. This is not
Oh.
you.
And then there's the Meg 2.
The Meg.
Not even a little bit interested in
That
the Meg.
opens on August
The Meg.
August
Two.
4th.
Not
I might
even
see
a
if
little bit.
my nephew wants to go see that movie. It's going to be utterly terrible and so much fun. My nephew loves that movie.
Now,
And my
correct me
brother,
if I'm
so
wrong, but is the Meg just a modern day retelling of Jaws?
It does appear that way.
the new one kind of looks like that, but it's the first one was they were like in, I want to say it's some deep sea research facility, and they were
Yeah.
So it just looks utterly ridiculous, and it might
Mhm.
be something that I might just be like, talk to my brother. Oh, I saw the preview. I didn't even know that they were making a Blue Beetle movie.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
that
yeah.
looks fun. That
And
looks fun.
it's the kid from Cobra Kai.
Sure. But that that looks fun. I enjoyed the trailer for that. I'm very excited for that.
Because correct me if I'm wrong, but James Gunn is kind of leading the new DC multiverse.
Is
But
now,
he?
I
right?
don't think he was on board when they started production of the Blue Beetle.
Not when they started, but Blue Beetle is part of his
Well, it's part of his
cinematic
watch,
universe.
but
But I believe they use the Flash as a way to separate the old from the new.
Yeah,
I
see,
guess I have no plans on going to see the Flash in theaters. I'm gonna wait
Neither
for
am I.
that to drop on Max.
They
I mean,
are
yeah.
use too many. They basically just tried to drop as many Easter eggs in it for old fans as possible to entice people to come and see it.
Well, I mean, it's also
Is
just
what it
like
seems.
watching Flashpoint again is like watching Uncle Ben get shot again. You know what I mean? It's
Mhm.
like we get it. We know Flashpoint. Like
Ooh,
I
Flashpoint.
feel like
I
I feel
know.
like
Let's
Flash
go
might
watch
have
Bruce's.
other stories. Like
Oh, he does. Lots of them.
oh my god, everything comes back to Flash. And I mean
Flashpoint.
some of them are really fun. Like I like I like the DC animated universe play
Yes.
on
Yep.
Flashpoint, and the other movie that's related to it that I feel like I can't say what it is because saying that's related to Flashpoint is a spoiler, but um, but that was good too, and that was different. Hadn't seen that take before, so but yeah, no, but
Yeah, I
but I mean between the fact that like it's another Flashpoint, and like there are things that look interesting enough that I'll probably watch it at some point. But also like Ezra Miller's kind of a dick, and I feel like
Yep.
they could have gotten away from him.
Well,
enough.
that goes along with Jeff Johns being a dick now.
Which one's Jeff Johns?
Jeff Johns was the person in charge of Marvel or DC Entertainment. He was the writer of the Flashpoint series. He was the writer of the Green Lantern Black Darkest Night or whatever the
Oh yeah, okay.
The one
um
with
or Blackest Night, was it?
Yeah, Blackest Night.
John Stewart.
Was it John Stewart or was
I
that?
don't think so.
I think that was Hal.
Yeah, I thought it was Hal.
What movie am I thinking of then?
So
But anyway, between Ezra Miller and it's another Flashpoint, and we're kind of behind. I feel like we're kind of behind on DC anyway. I feel like we're missing something on DC, but I don't know what. And
Black Adam.
we have not seen Black Adam. That's true.
You say
Honestly, it's pretty
we
good.
as if I've been watching any of the DC
Black
movies.
Adam.
Well, you've seen all of them that
and
I've seen.
Then you had the Suicide Squad. The Suicide Squad was actually fun.
I haven't seen the
the
new Suicide Squad yet.
the James Gunn one. I did
I do,
enjoy
I
that.
do want to see that one. That looks fun. But which one have you not seen, Hun?
I haven't seen any of the new Batmans. I haven't seen Aquaman.
Oh, we haven't seen the Batman. I want to see the Batman.
The Batman
Oh,
was
you haven't seen
good.
Aquaman?
I didn't
It
see
was
Batman
okay.
versus Superman.
Oh.
You're not
The
missing
Batman
much for
was
Batman
okay.
versus Superman. So
I think that movie got a bad rap. It was okay. I don't like that Batman. I've said this before. I don't like this iteration of Batman, and it isn't Ben Affleck's fault. I actually really like Ben Affleck
I think that
as
for what he was given, I do feel that Ben Affleck did a good job as Batman. He just got stuck with a very bad story.
yeah. He's they wrote a very bad Batman, and I have said this before, and he played it very well. I really like him. I really like him as Batman. Um,
So I will say, like,
but
I did enjoy like the first half to 2/3 of Batman v Superman.
yeah,
And then the movie just like the third act was just tanked. It was awful.
well, yeah, that's true. So yeah, the whole. Uh,
I would prefer to watch Batman v Superman than I would the Batman.
everything. Okay, I want to see the
Really?
Batman.
Yes.
Oh, I see. I really liked
I need my
the
sweater
Batman
tights.
because to me it was very like it was very Batman Year One for me. It was very
Mm.
like Frank Miller esque.
Yes. And
Um,
they did great with his um, showing how the Batman is a detective and things of that nature. But at the same time, they did not do a very good job with the movie aspect of it.
See, I thought
Because
that Paul Dano
like,
did an awesome job. Like I really enjoyed his portrayal. Riddler.
yeah, I
I've been
didn't like.
wanting a good Riddler for so long, and I
I
I
was not a
Well,
fan of it.
he's not your stereotypical Riddler. I will
no,
tell
that's
you that.
fine.
But
That's
just
fine.
like
I feel like
No,
well, the
um
he is.
stereotypical Riddler is my problem. Is I
yeah.
look at the character of the Riddler and I'm like, they could do so much more with this character than they ever do because they just get obsessed with like the riddles are silly, and that's all anyone sees to this character. But there's so much more you could do with it, and so I've heard that they do a really good job with that character concept, and I'm hopeful about it. But yeah, I haven't seen it yet, and
And
I'm really curious too.
I thought that Jeffrey Wright did an awesome job as Gordon, which I was
Oh
like,
yeah,
I was when the um the Christian Bale series ended, I was like, I really loved Gary Oldman
Yeah, he was good.
as Gordon, and I was like, that's gonna be hard to top.
did you hear
And
they're giving the Batman a sequel?
Good.
they're coming out with a Penguin series on HBO.
I do kind of wish. So this is ultimately the problem, is that DC just can't pick a line and stick to it. Like
Which I'm okay with. I would rather have disjointed DC movies in their own universes, whatever, and not have to worry about them trying to catch up with
Well, I
Marvel in
mean,
terms of having a cohesive um, universe.
mm,
I think
and
that was
that
their biggest mistake.
it also is part of DC's allure. The multiple universes with large and open-ending stories that don't ever touch each other. That's part of the allure of DC.
Yeah.
That there's a million and one Batman doing a million and one different things.
Yeah, and that's why I like the Marvel or the DC animated stuff, because the first of those, which was New Frontier, was I think the first one that I remember watching, and then they had those like the All-Star Superman ones. Those were very separate stories where they weren't tied. And then it wasn't until that Flashpoint where they kind of started intermingling some of the storylines, and then they did with like the Teen Titans stuff, then they started actually tying them in, and that's when I started kind of not paying attention. But like they had done some standalone ones, like Gotham by Gaslight was a fantastic.
I'm curious with that one. I haven't seen that one yet, but I've been meaning to.
I really enjoyed Gotham by Gaslight.
All right, so it is 11 o'clock, but before and we definitely like lost Carol because she does not pay attention to comic books.
Sorry, Carol.
That's okay. I'm playing a game.
But so Extra Life is going to be a thing. Is going to be a heck of a thing this year, and I have to do. At some point, I need to bring this up in the Discord. At some point soon, we have to figure out what's going on with the online group with the headhunters between the end of last session and the beginning of the Extra Life story, because you guys are in a heck of a situation.
I don't even remember where we left off.
You
I know that Matt
you
left.
just killed Price.
Oh, that's right.
The party. Well, some members of the party. Not the whole party. Some members of the party just killed
Price, and I think the other parts were waiting for an alien invasion of some kind.
Yeah, there was the.
And that's how my new character had been introduced as backup.
That's right. That was Eric and Tripper who killed him.
Yep.
I didn't have anything to do with that.
No, you didn't. Ironically, right?
I became the Carol of the group. I became the conscience of the group somehow.
That is true, actually.
Awesome.
But
the cult leader becomes the conscience of the group.
Yeah.
I'm glad to have had a lasting impact.
But yeah, but we gotta figure out what happens, because I know what's going on, like out in the rest of the world, because you guys are still in the base when we left off.
Yes.
I know what's going on outside of the base. But I have to figure out how you guys are engaging with that.
Okay.
And what it means for where you're at by the time of next session. By the time of Extra Life. And I know that Chris was talking about wanting to have a new character by that point, to try a new character. I also got to talk to the offline group and see what they want to do about it, because this storyline, as I've told Carol, very much could work as an end, as like, this is the climax of In Memoriam as we've played it. This is it. Like, after that, the offline group, we could explore the idea of setting the story aside and doing something else.
Has the offline group caught up with the online group?
No, we've met like this.
So, they're not actually too far off. Because I've been playing with, because as I mentioned already, I'm playing with the idea that they're not actually, their time doesn't move actually the same rate between the two worlds.
Okay.
And so they do occasionally, find themselves at a different point in time than you might expect. And so I think last session there was a point where someone went to the base for some reason and was walking walked past the living room in time to hear you guys debating about whether or not to kill Price. They didn't hear enough to know that that's what you were arguing about, but it was you guys having that debate. when they kind
Okay.
of walked past the living room. And so
Was
they're
Jay proud of me then?
well, like I said, they
I
didn't.
didn't hear it.
Wasn't the person who heard it, and the person who didn't hear enough to know that that's what you were arguing about. They just kind of like
Oh,
were
okay.
walking by and heard you guys arguing about something and decided not to investigate and continue on with what they were doing. Um,
Oh, okay.
so, but that is chronologically, like in terms of how I'm lining everything up, that is what you guys were arguing about. Was
Gotcha.
what to do about price. So yeah, they're almost to where you guys are.
Okay.
Probably next session they'll get ahead of you.
Depending on when we meet.
Yeah, whenever that's. There's a lot of sessions that have to be canceled in the next
Yeah.
Yep.
throughout the summer.
Because maybe it'll work out where I can actually show up to a offline group
Yeah,
That'd be
if
cool.
the timelines start meeting up.
yeah. Well, like I said, after next session, you probably could. I mean, honestly, it's just yeah, because it's not gonna be. Oh, here it is. It's not because it should be that by next session. Um,
Okay.
hey, Matt.
Yeah.
Speaking of, you haven't filled out your availability for Star Trek for the rest of the summer, so
Oh,
we
I
can figure
haven't.
out what weeks we're gonna have to find other things to do.
I still want my character to die in Star Trek, but
He might have.
somebody
Quite a lot of characters did die.
somebody wouldn't let me go out with guns blazing.
Kind of a lot of characters, kind of a lot of crew died recently.
Yeah,
So-
but like
Yes.
if it just happens
But
like
it was definitely
behind the
mostly off screen,
scenes,
yeah.
it's kind of a cheap death. I wanted to make the ultimate sacrifice, but that wasn't going to be allowed. So
Yeah.
just like forget it, done.
I mean, you could always be the Lexington's Tuvok.
How so?
That sounds like a spoiler.
No, because
For a 20-year-old TV show.
Shut up. I haven't seen it yet.
Because
There is no statute of limitations on spoilers. We've established this.
no spoilers. 'Cause Tuvok was just a security officer.
I know who Tuvok is.
Yeah, that was the
That
whole
was
thing.
the reference. That was the
Okay, I
entirety
thought
of the
that
reference?
you
that
were
was the
trying to
entirety of the
like
reference.
reference
thought you-
something that I had completely forgotten about.
I thought you were
Voyager,
saying that
that's why I was-
Tuvok made the ultimate sacrifice.
Or that
Nope.
Tuvok came out as suicidal or something. We became aware that he was
Tuvok
suicidal.
was the security officer on a ship stranded far away from its governing body.
Okay.
So I just become two Vix. Is that what happens?
If you want, I
One of the
guess.
worst episodes ever.
Yeah, we let fish splice some of your genes and turn you into a Vulcan.
So
Oh man.
I forgot that the Little Mermaid opens this week too.
Yeah, Little Mermaid opens this week.
I might have to see if Arya wants to go see that, but Ren might want to go see it with her. So
Yeah,
I just
we
kind of
have-
want to see it to infuriate people.
Why?
Why would it infuriate people if you go see it?
I mean, I know
Because
people
they're-
were kind of upset about it existing, but I don't.
Bunch of racist people.
Yeah, but
Oh, you
like,
mean just
I
you want to
don't
help
see how-
make? He wants to help make sure that it makes lots of money to really
Yes,
dig
make
into.
it-
it.
Okay,
infuriate the
that
racist
makes more
people.
sense. I was like, how is you personally going to see it gonna make anybody angry?
When they see like how much money it makes opening weekend, I want to contribute towards that.
Yeah. I'm curious, but I haven't been watching any of the live action remakes because I don't want to like support that business model.
I don't really like that business model either, to be honest.
Um, but also I just haven't gotten around to some of them. But like, yeah, I don't know.
Did you hear that they're gonna be making a live action version of Moana already?
Yeah, I did.
That annoys me.
The
Yeah.
turnaround time on that one is just insane.
If they're going to remake an animated film into a live action one, there are only two that we want: Treasure Planet
No,
and Atlantis.
no,
So no, I don't want to
no, I
see
don't want to see
either of
either of
those
those.
remade live action.
Those are
Not
the
even
only
a
two
little
I
bit.
want to see.
So-
I would actually kind of like to see a Treasure Planet live action.
See,
I-
That sounds fun.
the artistic stylings of that, I think really like it benefits from being animated. I think it benefits a lot from being animated in a way that it would lose something if it was live action.
And it's not because I dislike either of those movies.
No, yeah, I like both of them.
I'm like, you know, um with Atlantis, it's like, yeah, Mike Mignola, come on. You just gotta leave that as is. Just leave it as is and not remake it.
I yeah.
What, and have Moana live action instead?
No, I don't
I
even
don't
want
want
I don't want
live
a,
action.
a live action of Moana either. I think that, like, you know, they're classic movies. I think they're unless they can improve on those movies somehow,
Yeah.
they should not remake them.
Yeah, I think that Atlantis and Treasure Planet specifically benefit so much from being animated movies and having the freedom to have
Yeah.
that artistic expression that it would just be almost impossible to pull off in live action, even with CGI. Um, I just I think those are some of the worst movies to turn into live action, just on those grounds alone. I think they would lose too much of the artistic merit that they have by making them live action. Um, but that's me as a visual artist talking, and not necessarily as a fan. Um, but if there was one that I could see being done as live action and actually benefiting from that transition, oh, what would it even be? Like there are a few where it would just kind of be. I could see it being about the same. You know what I mean? Like, okay, this isn't going to be the transition from animated to live action isn't really going to be better or worse. Like Pocahontas. Um, I don't think that there's anything that would be lost to Pocahontas or Mulan by going live action.
What about
Inherent,
Brave?
They already did
inherent.
Mulan
Yeah,
live
they did
action.
do live action Mulan. I haven't seen it, but I mean, they probably did lose something just because they're making terrible business decisions and destroying stories. But like, there's nothing inherent to the transition that is bad. That's going to be detrimental to the movie. For either of those, I don't think. But I don't think that it gains anything by going live action either. You know what I mean?
So here's my take on this. I don't think that they should try to remake
Hi, Kitty.
the movies with the same music. Like, I'd be perfectly fine if they redid a Little Mermaid story and left out like the original score and stuff and
But
just
yeah,
made
revisit the concept. Don't remake the movie.
exactly.
I can support that.
Kind of like Sherlock and that type. Using it as a base, not as a design.
Right. It's like reimagine the story at least.
Yeah,
But like
it should be a
for
different
the
adaptation.
for the majority of these remakes, they just feel soulless to me. Like if you ever watch like the any of the pitch meeting YouTube videos, if you haven't, you need to watch them. They're hilarious. But they just totally like they come up with they point out all of the flaws for a lot of these movies. The one for Aladdin was hilarious because they talk about the new song that was added to the Aladdin film, and it's just totally appropriate. Like
You know what?
they call it out.
I will say, Aladdin is one that I think could have benefited from a live action if they'd done it right. I think that could have been really interesting. Playing with that as live action. But I am under the impression they did not do it well.
I don't even remember anything from it because I think I walked out of the room when we tried watching it.
Is there an Aladdin live action? I don't remember that.
Yeah, Will Smith is the
was
genie.
the genie.
Oh, right. Yeah, I didn't want anything to do with it.
There are good things and bad things of it.
Yeah.
But that's probably where we probably want to end tonight, though, as it is quarter after.
All right,
Yeah.
fine.
And
All
on
right.
that bombshell.
On that bombshell. All right, sweet. Thanks for joining us. This has been another unexpected episode of Pineapple, and nothing that was done here tonight was in support of Extra Life because there was no gaming happening. But you can still support us.
You can't see it.
Yeah, you can still help us help kids by going to our Extra Life team page and making a donation. And yeah, we'll figure out what's going on with our Extra Life Game Day. We have 3 Game Day events happening this year as a channel. There's 3 Extra Life like special events. There's the Road to Oblivion Climax, which is going to be the battle against Oblivion. There's going to be the Tabletop Appreciation Weekend, which is going to be the Star Trek Lexington crew doing a special session on the weekend of August 19th. I don't know what day they're doing it on that weekend, but that is Extra Life's Tabletop Appreciation Weekend, and so they're going to do a special session that weekend. I think they're skipping the Thursday to do that, but I don't remember exactly. And then, of course, our 24-hour game is going to happen. It's going to be in memoriam the first weekend in November, 2 12-hour days in a row. So looking forward to that. I'm thinking about changing things up for next year, but we'll talk about that more later. Doing something very different next year, but we'll see. But for this year, those are the 3 big events that we have planned for Extra Life. Hope you join us for any of those, any or all of those, and help us help kids in the hospital. But for tonight, thank you, anyone who's watching, and have a good night.
Bye.
Good night, folks.